Reddit, one of the biggest social platforms on the internet, introduced collectible avatars for their users and NFTs. This is very big news for NFT adoption and also create a great use case of how NFTs can be done right. Today, I'm here with Benjamin Latsko to break it down for you. Hello and herzlich willkommen to the Bernhard Neumann podcast. Here you get insights, assessments, and knowledge around the topics of Web3, NFTs, and crypto. I'm your host, Bernhard, and today I'm here with Benjamin Latsko, a branding and Web3 consultant, a thought leader of the space, and someone I really enjoy talking to. Welcome,
Thanks,
Benjamin.
Bernhard. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. We're
Yeah,
very
very
much
cool.
looking forward to this.
Yeah, happy to have you. So the topic is Reddit, and this is probably bigger than most people have on their radar. So let's jump into it. I would like to start with the question: do you use Reddit?
I do use Reddit, yes, not as much as I would love to, but it's the epicenter of the internet. Every type of pop culture internet trend really comes from there. And when you want to know what's up, Reddit is definitely the place where you want to look first, because everything that comes after, once you read it on TechCrunch, once you read it on any other media outlet, you can be certain that they first read it on Reddit.
They first read it on Reddit. Come on, is that their slogan? Maybe.
There you go.
Very, very good. I mean, you're the branding guy, right? So what is Reddit? Why are they doing it there? Like, what's your feeling about that?
Okay, so Reddit is probably, well, not just probably, it is the biggest forum out there on the World Wide Web. And what they did is they introduced NFTs. Now, everyone who's into NFTs has to understand that the sentiment for NFTs on Reddit has been not quite positive in the past. To be precise, it was very negative. So what they did is they launched a community program, and they also introduced community avatars where they collaborated with artists. I think in total they launched 40,000 NFTs. And from there, they basically also introduced a wallet into the Reddit app, which is native to the web app and the smartphone app that is available. So from a communication perspective, they pretty much stayed away from anything technological on that side, and did what Top Shot did, as well as Starbucks, is by not naming the technology and not saying that this is an NFT. And they dropped the avatar collection of 40,000 pieces, which sold out pretty quickly. And with that, they were able to open up, I think in total, Reddit now hosts 3 million active wallets on their app, which is pretty much on par with OpenSea, which is amazing.
Yeah, this is amazing. So thank you already for the summary. So maybe for the listeners, for the viewers. So I went. I have to say, I hardly ever used Reddit before. So today I created an account, also in preparation. And so when you create an account, you get an avatar, right? And so you can design this avatar as you like. But also, if you want special things on your avatar, like a special hat or something, you would have to get the Reddit premium stuff. Now they like enlarge this offering. Okay, you have those avatars, and you can also get their collectible avatar, which is in the back end an NFT. The Reddit users don't really know it or care. All they communicate is it's blockchain backed. That's how they called it. And so now you can, okay, I have my normal avatar, or I want this fancier one, and then I'm just gonna buy it. Like right now they're sold out, so you can buy it on OpenSea, on a NFT marketplace. But that's how they did it, and it was very natural. It was very, like felt, I guess, right for the people of Reddit, because they had their avatars already, and now it's just a different form of it, and like some special points to it. And what I wanted to point out also is how they airdropped to regular users. They airdropped an avatar. Like it's here's your avatar. you have this many karma points. Here it is. There was four different tiers in this case, and on top of that, they said, okay, we're gonna take people from the community, artists, and they create their version of our avatar and have a limited collection of it. And that's what they ended up selling. And as you said, it sold very fast and is yeah, extremely successful also on OpenSea. And so there was this big swapping, like people coming from Reddit to the NFT like ecosystem and everything, and people from the NFT space, like they noticed, okay, Redditors, welcome, let's go. There was also a funny interaction on Twitter, right? Like in the beginning, and then let's welcome them, and hey, here's what you need to know about NFTs. But I don't think they really care that much, do they?
No, not really. I mean, that's the beauty of the user experience that Reddit built. They made it so that people who are not native to crypto can access those NFTs, and also the price point was very inviting and accessible. I think it started at $9.99 and went up to roughly $100, which is quite accessible for digital collectibles, I would say. And because they built it into their existing infrastructure without breaking the user journey, I think that was the most important key to success here for a wider adoption. Now, bear in mind, yes, they opened up, I think, 2.5 million Reddit wallets, which they call Reddit Vault, but only 40,000 have been sold. But still, crypto Twitter and Reddit are not best friends yet, but we might get there soon.
Yeah, for sure. So really good points, like such a seamless, yeah, enhancement, if you want to call it that way, of the user experience on Reddit. And yeah, so many wallets. Like, to put this in perspective, like this is basically doubling the amounts of NFT wallets out there. Like this was pretty big, and so people are very excited. Is this the beginning of mass adoption here for NFTs? But yeah, the people are not really that aware that it's NFTs, or they don't care as much, and that's also perfectly fine. And just an idea here, Reddit has about 50 million daily active users, so it's a big platform. And yeah, more and more people get in touch. And there's this cool thing they also did with community points, right? Like what's happening here, Benjamin?
That's right. So basically, what they did, they introduced community points to Reddit, where each community and subreddit can introduce their own token, which is also backed by blockchain technology, to access and unlock exclusive content or other benefits that are part of that community. And I think up until now, there are roughly, well, let me start somewhere else or chime in. So it's built on Arbitrum Nova. Super cool because it's built for communities and gaming environment. It's low in energy and low in cost, so it's a very scalable solution. And mostly this is built for governance. So the community points are built for governments, for exclusive memberships, and whatever the community really has to hold and wants to benefit to their users. What this brings is really a best practice for tokenomics, and also how the technology can be infiltrated into existing communities without making the technology a religion. And I think
Yeah.
that's an important topic here to discuss, because that's what's going to drive mass adoption. The problem with crypto right now is that it's half investment, half religion, and then it somehow becomes a trend, whereas these two aspects are not very compatible. And
Hmm.
once you take away those two layers and communicate like a normal human being, how we like to be communicated to without the technology terms, I think that's where the sweet spot is with mainstream adoption. We saw it with NBA Top Shot. They have very little language when it comes to or very little mentioning when it comes to crypto and NFTs and the technology side of things. The same is for Starbucks, and it's likely going to be the same for any other bigger initiative that brings crypto to the world.
Yeah, beautifully said. Like, nice transition. How, and I think it's really a nice use case. And I would like to. I'm on their website right now. I would like to read it. I'm not sure. It's not great practice to just read something in a podcast, but like, I honestly got kind of chills because a big company like Reddit, they start to think like that. That's pretty amazing. I'm just gonna read it. Enough talking about it. So
Let's do it.
let's do it. Community points are the first step towards a better future for online communities. Sounds good already. In order to be truly independent from platforms like Reddit, Reddit is writing this. They want people to be truly independent from platforms like Reddit. Communities need to be owned by their members in a way that platforms cannot take away. With the advent of blockchain technology, we now have a way to establish this freedom in a decentralized and secure way. Come on.
That's not bad. That's super good. Now, bear in mind what we're only, and I'm putting only into quotation marks, in only about the transactional side of things and not about the content just yet, right? So the decentralization of the actual forum and the content is not happening at this point. It's more about how do we work together? How does this technology enable communities on a smaller but yet larger scale as well? And yeah, I think that that's really the most important punchline to that is we're looking at building community from a different perspective, making it more accessible and decentralizing this whole power architecture that has been built.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, for me, they kind of, in different words, like, this is Web3. Like, this is what you always say. Okay, like a network that's owned by the people that bring value to the network. Like, that, it makes so much sense. And the crazy thing, it can work. It will work. That's I think the revolutionary part about, like, the idea is probably as old as everything. Like, obviously people would like to own part of something, but that we can make it work with the technology, for example, blockchain technology and NFTs. That's the amazing part to me.
If it's happening on Reddit, you can be sure that it's going to happen very soon in other places too. Reddit
Yeah.
is the center of where these type of trends start to become mass market friendly, and this is the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned the vault. So just to recap, so people were able to get their own crypto wallet on Reddit. It's a self custodial wallet. Like, you do get your password and everything, and you can, from there you can transport everything around. I thought that was also uh, well done. Like, it's you have your account, you get your wallet, everything is on Reddit. So if you just normal user, no worries. Like, it's just, yeah, sure, there's a vault, who cares? But if you then say, okay, I want to transfer it to my MetaMask, to my other wallet, because I'm an NFT guy or whatnot, then you can do it anytime, and that's really cool. And so for the community points, they're also cryptocurrency, so they're freely transferable. As of now, they also said, which is important, they didn't build a liquidity pool or anything. It's not meant to be cashed out in dollars or anything, but it's meant to, jump the borders of just Reddit. Like, they said, okay, why not form a community here and use that token, outside of Reddit? That's what they're describing. And so this is so interesting that a platform that, like, with Facebook and stuff, trying to control the users, keep them there, and now you have Reddit and say, hey, it's your community, spread free. And so we will definitely see how that's going. But any thoughts? Is that killing their business, or did they have a business, or is it even enhancing it?
I might not be fully answering a question, but I do have a thought that I want to share with you. So we're coming out of the e-com era, right? The last 12 years have been very centered around performance marketing, building businesses, and well, particularly online businesses. And a lot of those successful businesses that we saw rise to the top within the last 5 to 7 years have had their roots in Reddit. So they went to Reddit, found a problem that they could solve with a product, brought that to market, and boom, it worked. Um, well, it wasn't that easy, but putting that into context, what this means with tokens is that if you have a vibrant community within Reddit, you can now offer products in your ecom experience and token gate that to that Reddit get Reddit subreddit particularly, and also make those tokens that are being part of that subreddit count somewhat into your membership program. So you can expand the whole ecosystem from the forum to a lot more business opportunities that are out there. Now, I'm only bringing up the business opportunities here, but from a pure community perspective, you can build a lot more. You can build ecosystems where Reddit is a part of that ecosystem and not the center anymore. Whereas today and the last 17 years, since I think 17 years is what Reddit is old now. Yeah, they were founded in 2005. What Reddit basically embodied so far.
Beautiful. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the whole ecosystem, as we said, like every subreddit can have their own coin. They can even call it however they like to call it. So that's really big. And then you expand from there. So let me ask you, why did Reddit do it? Like, what do you think? Like, what got into them? Like everything works. Hey, we're here.
I think it's a smart business move because they're still cementing them into themselves into the internet, web3, because every so okay, if we look at the whole topic from a system and from a back end perspective, everything that was built in the last 5 to 10 years was somewhat centered around APIs. You make it interoperable, that kind of stuff. Now here's blockchain technology. It provides the same type of ethos where interoperability is a huge topic, and you're not only building applications, you're building ecosystems. And so companies and communities are moving away from platforms into ecosystems where they can navigate and just live and consume. And being part of these ecosystems is going to be fundamental for any company out there to be relevant. And that's why they're doing it, from my perspective.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think you just answered my next question. Kind of like I was going for, where does this lead us to? Like this happened, it's here, and I think you just said it, where it's more of an revolution towards ecosystems rather than platforms, which confine things, and ecosystems open them up.
Yes, and those ecosystems, now this might be an Instagram trend or a YouTube trend that might already hit your feed as well. It's definitely worth a read, The Network State. I'm not going to summarize it in this podcast because there's no way to cover this in a couple minutes, but read into it, Google it, because ecosystems is fundamental to that.
Yeah. So I'm butchering the name, but Balaji is that his name? Smartest guy out there,
Yes,
probably. Like
you got it.
it's really hard to listen to him and afterwards not say, "Damn, this person is a little smarter than I am."
Yes.
Um, and
He
so yeah.
he's definitely one of those persons, and that helps. And well, he made a big impact for me to rearrange the furniture in my mind again, to start thinking differently.
Mm, beautiful. Yeah, I saw him on Tim Ferriss, and Tim Ferriss just said, "Okay, I'm gonna be quiet," like because he just goes off and really. I thought his take on also Bitcoin being like kind of a battery, a monetary battery, was really interesting. But that's off topic. We're talking about Reddit, which
Yes.
yeah, really I don't know, change the game. I don't know, but like I really think they did something that's gonna have a very lasting effect here.
I think so. To my thought that I just shared on ecosystems, what they did instead of building out their own businesses and their own marketplaces and whatnot for their communities, they're handing over the keys to the communities to do it themselves and benefit from it with the power of Reddit. It's really it is in essence the narrative that we also love about Web3 co-creation. That is what this is. They're giving out tokens for their community to co-create on their platform and actually build out the whole ecosystem.
I'll be clipping this. This was golden. I love it. Yeah, and in the right way. You said it. So in NFT land, there's a couple of projects, and then at some point it gets too tough. They see, okay, we have to build a company here, a startup, and then they say, okay, guys, it's been amazing, and we're gonna hand it over to you, and you take it from here, which obviously doesn't work. But as you said, with Reddit, it's different. They've got this platform. They have all the infrastructure. They give everything, but yet their co-creation can evolve, and so that's really amazing. That will be setting the ground for many things to come. Do you think, how do you see it in terms of like Facebook and Instagram and those platforms? Is there are they gonna start and have a look or what's going on here, or do you see any impact here?
It's definitely going to happen. I mean, the way Reddit did it is building on Polygon and Arbitrum, which is something, is super accessible. It's basically an open API for any business to plug into and token gate the shit out of their business.
Yeah,
And
for
build
sure.
it.
Maybe for people for people listening, viewing this. So Polygon is a side chain of Ethereum. So everything is based on the Ethereum blockchain, which is an open decentralized network now using proof of stake, which is fairly energy efficient. And so Polygon is even more energy efficient. It has a little less security, but enough security, but is the solution that is going to scale the Ethereum ecosystem. And so, we have this as the base layer, and as you said, like from there, it's an open blockchain. You can ping it however you like it. You can look what's there, and so it enables open source development from then on, right?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on its head, for
All
sure.
right. I take that. I take. Yeah. So I think there was a beautiful dive into this Reddit topic. It's very exciting. I hope the viewers, the listeners, kind of got the notion that we have, that this is a whole lot bigger than another big company saying yes to NFTs. This is a creation of a new way of thinking about ecosystems, about co-creation, and it's happening right now. It's not the future, and so it's I think it's fair to be excited about it.
I feel like opening it and starting a business for a subreddit right now and just token gating it to that specific subreddit with a very specific problem statement. I feel like
You know
that's
what?
something to do now.
You have one Redditor that's gonna be there, and that's me.
Sweet. Let's get started.
This is a start. All right. Everyone, thanks for listening. Benjamin, thank you so much for coming to the podcast, for being such a great guest, and all the insights you brought.
This was fun. Let's do it again. Thanks,
Awesome.
Bernhard.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.